the key to the Knicks is how well J.R. Smith contribution is.
Exactly. Hey, and that's the reason why they winning. You know what? Stillwater, thanks for the call. I'm finna get back to chewing these guys up.
All right, man. Peace.
I'm gonna piggyback off what he's saying. The reason why the Knicks are on the 13-game losing streak, I love Carmelo. Winning streak. I love the way Carmelo Anthony is playing right now, but the reason is J.R. Smith.
And let me say something. I 110% agree with you.
Okay.
It is J.R. Smith.
Okay.
Because any star needs help.
Yeah.
He needs a J.R. Smith. Okay. He can't do it by himself, which he has been doing.
Okay.
Last year, when J.R. Smith was there, J.R. Smith wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need somebody else. Bron ain't doing it all by himself. You got Bosh, you got Wade, and guys stepping up. When he was in the finals last year, when they was double teaming him, he was kicking it out. Who was making shots? Shane Battier was making 6 and 7 threes. Mike Miller came and hit 20 points. You got to have somebody. So, yeah, it is J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is the reason why they got they're in 13 games straight.
But let's say this. I'll tell you the difference. J.R. Smith is streaky.
Very.
You never know what player you're going to get. And even when it comes to the playoffs, but wait. Even when it comes to the playoffs, Carmelo is streaky.
Definitely.
His shooting percentage goes down tremendously. Yes, he is.
What?
Wait, time out.
Carmelo.
But you keep saying that. No, he did not.
How is that streaky?
He did not average 30. So he was 3 for 15.
About 30, 35, 40 in every single game.
You talking about
playoffs?
You talking about
playoffs? No, last year's playoffs against Miami.
It don't matter if he balls. He doesn't elevate his
Wait a minute. Last year, playoff series.
You gotta play. First of all, Miami was the better team. Miami was going to win that series anyway, regardless. But when you lose Shumpert, you lose your starting point guard, you don't have a chance to win the series. You don't have a chance.
Last year.
You lose your shooting guard and you lose your point guard, you have no chance to win.
Last year.
It wasn't like they lost the
Last year, you cannot say 35 points a game. Last year, his very first game, he was 3 for 15.
Okay, well let's say last year.
But wait a minute.
Look at his other season.
Wait a minute. He's never shot 40. He's never shot 48%.
I don't care about the percentage. He puts up the point. He gets it done.
His shooting percentage goes down though.
Yeah, probably so. There's more pressures on him. He got
and 20% from 3 last year in the playoffs.
Nah.
So you can't blame everybody else for him losing. He's the reason also.
He's
an isolation basketball player who's not going to get it done.
He's doing the same thing this year that he's doing. The difference is J.R. Smith's games has changed. How many free throws is J.R. Smith going to now? He's shooting a lot more free throws.
When it comes to regular season, Carmelo always balls. It's playoffs that his game changes.
We're not talking about Carmelo. We're talking about his help. We're talking about the help. The Knicks are the number 1 3-point shooting team in the league.
But okay,
they shoot a lot of them.
But what I'm saying though, that's what's making them win.
Let's talk to a Knicks fan. Come playoff time, how accurate is that going to be? You live by the 3, you die by the 3.
Okay. Are you playing the number 1 seed or are you playing the 7th seed? That's totally different.
Hey, this ain't no regular 7 seed.
But even with that being said, whether they live by the 3 or die by the 3, they ain't got nothing to do with Melo. That's the team. That's the team. If they die by the 3, then if Novak and those guys are not hitting threes, that's on them.
He shot 20% from 3 last year. So what's the difference?
We're saying you as a team, they live by the 3. They're the number 1 shooting
team
in the league.
But you can't say it's
not
just Melo when he's not making shots either.
They're the number 1 3-point shooting team in the league. So if they don't do that in the playoffs, is that Melo's fault? That they're as a team that was number 1 all season long, they don't perform like they have all season long?
Does he get any blame if he doesn't play well?
It's the same thing with the Thunder when James Harden disappeared. If you have people that do certain things throughout the season to get you there,
and they don't do it in the
playoffs, and they don't do it, but you still do it.
You cannot tell me that wouldn't have been a different series if
did he have JR? Hold on. So I'm telling you, they're not getting out the first round.
You're a fool.
And then you hold on. Watch this. How many years have Carmelo been in the league? Anybody know?
10 years. This is 10 years.
Okay. How many championships? Just say the number.
None.
Okay. How many times have you been to the NBA Finals?
None.
Okay. How many scoring titles?
None.
About to be 1.
Yeah.
No.
He's on the verge.
He's got
it. Okay. Wow.
But he doesn't have any today.
How many?
He's about to have.
How many MVPs?
0.
What does this have to do
hold
with
on. Oh, we talking. Is he a superstar? How many MVPs?
He's a superstar.
How many MVPs?
What does that mean,
All-Star games has he not started?
Hey, let me tell you something.
How many
I'm
Olympic teams has he not been the
Come on, man. All-Star game.
How do you
get to these teams without being a superstar, like the best of the best? How do you get to these points without being the best of the best?
But you mean the best when it comes to
not saying
offense? 'Cause you
Let me
don't
ask
play
you
on the
this
defensive
question.
side of the ball.
Now you know the history of the game. Do you know who Bernard King is?
Of course.
Do you consider him a
We
star?
know he got out of we know he got out of the playoff of the first round one time.
So
okay.
So
We
how, if you're
understand
gonna say Bernard King is a star, he only got out of the playoffs one time his whole career. Then how come Carmelo is not?
It's how you play when it comes to the
That don't
playoffs.
ball.
He does
That
not
don't
ball
make
when it
sense.
comes to
That
the
don't make
playoffs.
sense. That don't even make sense. What you saying? You
So
said
he
Bernard
balled in the
King's a star?
playoffs last year?
Yeah.
As far as
You
I
keep
know.
pretending like he had 35 a game when he didn't.
Y'all tripping.
You can go look at the games. You can go look
3
at the
for
scores.
15 the first game. 7 for 23 the third game.
He
didn't have 35
Okay, but
points
did he
until
hit
the
free
fourth
throws?
game.
Did he hit free throws though?
How many points did he have game one?
I'm not looking at the stats.
Okay,
right now. I'm
you
just
talking
saying.
about okay.
he
Let's
put
forget.
up a
Let's
good
forget.
playoff
Let's
season.
forget.
He did
Let's
not.
forget. Let's forget last season.
Considering
Look
the
at all the
defense.
other
But
all the
consider
other
all the people that
playoff
weren't
exits
there
he went.
either.
He's
And
balled.
we making a big
He has
deal of the
balled.
Knicks, right? Nene, you clean this one up. You clean this one up. If they was in the West, what seed would they be?
Like 6th, 5th or 6th.
What is your point though with the team? We're talking about Melo as a superstar.
I
You
mean,
keep
I don't-
bringing up the Knicks.
All right.
We're talking about
Okay,
Melo
but
as a
if you wanna bring up
superstar
the
though.
West
But we're
and
not
where they
talking
stack,
about Melo as a
none of them
superstar.
will
We're
be
just
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
So
Carmelo.
no matter
You
where
talking
they
That
about
was
stack
Melo.
one
at.
point he said. You just
Yeah.
want to talk
But
about
the
him being a
Knicks beat Miami
superstar.
3
Well,
times
I don't
this
get
year
what you're
before.
saying though. You bringing up the Knicks and then he's saying
No,
Melo's
that
not
all
a star.
because
You're saying Melo's not a star.
everything with me comes into play. I could tell you something. Jamel Patterson, who's always on this show, he's the only one who gave me a good point, and that's when he said because he's box office. I'll take that. If that's what makes a superstar, I'll take that. Anything else, his game, no, because he doesn't elevate his players. He doesn't make them better. His team.
J.R. Smith is about to win the Sixth Man of the Year. Has he ever done that before?
I don't know.
So
Raymond
is that-
Felton is
how's that
killing
making-
this year.
How you not making
Jason
somebody else?
Kidd
If this guy's about to get an
resurrected
award
his
by the
career.
NBA, how are you not making somebody better? Do you think J.R. Smith would get an award if Melo wasn't on that team? No.
No, he would get it on any team.
No, get out of here with that, man. Get out of here with that.
What's
It
actually
takes-
making him better though? The 2
it
assists
takes
a game?
It takes. What do you mean? 2
What's
assists a game?
what's
He gets
making him
open looks.
better?
He gets open looks all the time. What do you mean?
But you're saying
The
that
folks-
Melo's making him better.
Yeah.
Melo averages 2 assists a
It
game.
don't matter.
So how is he making him
Addition
better?
by subtraction.
That's
the
4 points.
The defense. He's not the focal point of their defense. What do you mean?
But how
Hey,
is Melo
okay,
the
watch
person
this.
making him better?
Watch this. Come on. Let's kind of roll along. Name superstars who haven't won championships.
A lot of them.
Let's
Durant.
go. Huh?
Everybody.
Durant?
A lot
You
of
mean
them.
as of today?
First of
Everybody
all,
in the
first of
Jordan
all,
era.
first of all,
Hold on,
I
hold on.
don't.
'Cause
First of all,
we
first
could
of all,
go
to be a
watch this,
superstar,
watch
to
it.
be a
We could go to
superstar, you don't have to
Carl
win a.
Malone.
You
We
don't
could
have
go
to
to
be.
Carl-
You
let's
don't
just
have to
go.
be a
Let's
superstar
go.
to win a
Let's
championship.
go, Carl
You don't have to
Malone.
be a superstar to win a
Look,
championship.
you ain't got to win a championship, but you got to compete. Your teams can't get bounced out 4-1 every year.
Wait a minute. Carl Malone played 17 fucking years in the NBA. Oh, excuse my language. He made 17 years. 20 years. He
Okay.
made the finals in his 15th and 16th year in the league.
But his teams was always competitive. They
Hey,
didn't
man,
get dominated.
They wasn't always.
They didn't
What
get
do you mean they
dominated.
wasn't
Well,
always
he's saying that they
competitive?
weren't getting bounced first
pick
round
and
of the
roll.
playoffs.
First of all, when you look at the team, like I said, it's circumstances that he's played against, man. You look at the teams, and look who the teams that Melo has played against. You talk about how Bron took Cleveland to the playoffs, to the finals. They got swept in 4 games against the Spurs, and none of them was close. They got swept.
He still got there.
Listen at this though.
Twice
Hold on,
with
hold on,
Cleveland.
hold on, hold on.
Twice with Cleveland.
No, they got the
He
finals
wasn't
one
getting
time.
bounced out the
Can I
playoffs the
say this?
first
Can I finish my
round.
point? They played the Spurs and got swept 4 games in the finals. They got there. This is who Melo had to play in the first round though. In the West. That team that swept Bron in the
this, watch
finals,
this.
they
I'm
swept
sorry.
them in the
Watch
first
this.
round.
That's
And
an
Melo
excuse.
won. They won
Watch
the
this.
game.
That's an excuse.
They won. How
That's
is
not
that
an
That's a
excuse.
fact.
Did he lose to Utah and the
That's a
Clippers
fact.
when they
You
were lower
tried to
That's
seeds?
a fact. Yeah, they lost. They lost to them.
Did he lose? Wait a minute. Did he lose to
Fact of the
Utah?
matter is, when Bron
Did he?
went to the finals, they got swept and blew out in every game.
Did
against the
Carmelo
Spurs.
lose?
The same team that they had to play in the first round against. In the West, you got to play these teams if you ain't get to the finals.
But he's
And
supposed to
playing
be
against
one
the
of the
Wizards.
best. But he's
The
supposed
Wizards
to be
Did
one
he
of the
lose
best.
to the
man.
He's
Clippers?
supposed, that just
Against
proves he's second tier.
He's not
Kobe
second tier.
didn't go out like that.
Because Kobe got Shaq. When Kobe didn't have Shaq, they didn't make the playoffs.
Kobe had
The
Smush
closest-
Parker.
And they didn't make the playoffs.
No, watch
closest-
this.
They didn't make the
Carmelo
playoffs.
got
Carmelo
is
had Chauncey
Amari.
Billups
And they went to the Western Conference Finals.
one time.
That's when he
He
had
had
Chauncey
Allen
Billups.
Iverson. What happened?
At
They
the
was
end of his
fighting for the
career.
eight. He
At
was
the end of-
averaging almost 30
Hell nah.
points. He was
Hell nah.
averaging almost 30.
And they lost to the NBA championship Spurs. in the first round of the playoffs.
When Denver was,
Let's take this
when
call.
Den-
Flood. Joe Flood is getting on my nerves. Let's talk sports. Who we got?
That's Green, sir.
Green, talk to us, man. East Coast. Where you calling from?
Jersey,
man. Hey, all right, we already know whose side you going to be on. We talking Carmelo. We in here sweating. Tell us what you think. Is he a superstar or not?
Negative. Honestly, I think the man's a chump. I met him before, and he's not a good role model. I don't like him. Period. I don't like him. I don't like him as a player. I don't like him as a man. I don't like him as a Knick.
All right, Green. Thanks for validating our. Tell Joe Flood you love him.
Joe Flood, I love you. Me too.
My question is this.
What's up, man?
All y'all do, but wait a minute. All y'all do is y'all trying to validate the good teams that he lost to, but you never acknowledge the teams that he lost to that he should have beaten. What happened when he played Utah and the Clippers and they were 6th seed and he was the 3rd seed? He still lost first round. The mistake. I mean, the excuses.
To Darren Williams. Darren Williams.
Come on.
Carlos Boozer.
He finna lose to Darren Williams again.
You acting like he losing to scrubs. Darren Williams is a perennial all-star.
Loser.
Yeah. Boozer was on the Jazz. Carolico.
They was still the 6th seed. He was the 3rd seed. With a better record, and he still got bounced.
It don't matter.
Out of 10 years.
You acting like they was playing against some scrubs, though. He wasn't playing against the Wizards.
It's always excuses.
It's always excuses.
But here's this great player.
It's facts,
I'm going to tell you why he can't get out the first round. He can't get out the first round because he's an isolation ball player where everybody's standing around watching him ball. Coaches can easily scheme around that. Either we going to let you get your 45 a game, shut off everybody else, you still lost. He's not, that person is going to get everybody else involved in the game. It's not going to happen. He's going to get his 30 shots. It's a wrap.
Okay.
First round bounce. That's why he's only got the round one time.
Like I said, you lose. Look at the teams that he's losing to in the first round.
Now last year they lost
Spurs
to the
and Utah and the Clippers.
Yeah.
All right, let's take it down a little bit.
And I believe Utah played.
They working my nerves.
Let me say
Utah lost to Dallas in the Western Conference Finals that year when Dallas won.
You just can't keep making excuses, man.
You can't elevate the players when they're like in crutches, wearing the Armani suits on the sideline. We have
so in Denver, everybody was hurt too.
I'm talking about last year against the team that won the finals. We had Mike Bibby and Tony Douglas out there pushing points. You had Lynn Sanity didn't want to play.
Hold on, this is so funny. Without Lynn Sanity, it's no playoffs for the Knicks. When they got Carmelo,
number 2 seed
last year.
He's talking about
last year.
Hey, Lynn is doing all right with Houston.
He's talking about last year.
All right.
The Knicks are doing better.
Yeah, 2nd seed.
No, they doing better by default because the East is horrible.
Oh, that's your excuse.
Hold on.
But now the East is horrible.
Right.
The Warriors.
But now the East is horrible.
What would the Warriors be? What would the Warriors be?
But now the East is horrible. That's what I've been telling you. That's why Brian Took was able to take them to the finals because the East was horrible. The East has always been horrible.
We have a call.